Hello and welcome back to another episode of SpearCast. I'm your host, Nick.
And I'm Christian.
Today is another special episode as we have SpearCast's first time photographer instead of a writer, Titus Wilkinson. Hello, sir.
Welcome on the podcast.
Thank you. I'm honored to be a part of this podcast. I've been listening since the beginning, since episode 1, so I'm
Probably the only one.
Fan. Wow. Okay. I'm a true fan, so I'm honored to be on.
All right. Well, I mean, we obviously all know what happened this on Saturday.
Where's my intro?
You don't. You're just here already. You don't get one.
Well,
oh, fine. Intro yourself.
No, come on.
We also have Aaron here, the new regular.
Thank you.
All right. Anyways, football. We beat Fresno State.
Hey, we beat Fresno.
Not only beat them, but it was a dominant fashion.
Yes,
them.
Yeah.
It was in dominant fashion. At one point, it was 28-3. So
That was a scary score.
Yeah, I was about to say, which I was like, for a moment there, I was like, I'm getting some Atlanta, flashbacks right now. And then they made it 28-10, and I was like, okay, well, now I'm really good. So I was like, oh, man. But they pulled it out in the end. So.
Yeah, 42-18.
Yeah.
That's a good kind of score to beat the rival. Mm-hmm. Fresno State, get the Valley Trophy. I know, Titus, you were there on the field. You want to talk about, as a photographer, but like what you saw, like the excitement after?
And then obviously like the emotions that you felt coming off the team.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty epic. That moment where they all kind of ran over and grabbed the trophy, you could tell it was kind of like a moment of just like catharsis for them. They clearly wanted this win bad. And, it was funny when I was down there for, like, pregame and they were warming up and everything. It was just there was, like, an energy about the team that I hadn't felt when I had been there for the previous home games. When you're shooting on the field, sometimes you can just feel a certain energy or vibe from the team. And I don't know, there's just something about them at this Fresno game. Before the game, I just had a really good feeling. And then, obviously, going into it, with that dominant start, the start was incredible. Maybe there's a little bit of misstep in the middle, but then the ending was incredible, too. So, and then, that moment where they're lifting the trophy, they're all celebrating. I think the most special moment, I'm sure a lot of San Jose State people have seen this, was when Brennan got to hoist the trophy. That was just such a cool moment. The players bring it over. And, seeing his reaction was incredible, just, seeing the smile on his face. And you could tell that was just a huge feeling of relief, I'm sure, just to know, hey, we won this game. We've got the trophy, So, yeah, it was pretty incredible.
And speaking of Coach Brennan, he mentioned at his post-game press conference that this was the most important. He felt like this was the best win he's ever been a part of, his entire career at SJSU ever. So I think it was great to see, how happy he was, how happy the player was, especially turning the season around now 5-5 after 1-5. It's just great to see.
And then our obvious four-game win streak at that as well.
Exactly.
Whatever they're doing is working.
Exactly.
Whether it be obviously behind the scenes, making new plays, whatever it is, it's all working.
The defense has been amazing. The offense has been amazing. Not a lot of flaws in this team, and the run game is just crazy.
Yeah, and I feel like I rarely, it's been interesting. I rarely see Cordero scramble like he used to have to. I feel like I don't know what it is with the O-line, but I don't feel like I see him too often now having to make insane decisions in the pocket where, it's collapsing all at once. I don't know what changed with the O-line, but I feel like this O-line has been actually buying him time in the pocket to make accurate, good throws. It's nice.
Yeah. That could be just the O-line just improving over the course of the season, honestly.
Just gelling,
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's because they won because of me, but before Christian can attest to this, before the game, I got a Fernando burrito, which is we talk about this a lot on the podcast. I feel like I actually was able to finish the whole thing.
Oh wow!
Beforehand, so I feel like
So what you're saying is that you're gonna have to eat a Fernando burrito, eat before every game, and finish it.
Yes.
Wow.
I witnessed this. It was amazing. He down the whole thing.
But I just want to give a shout out to one of Matt's. Is it Matt's Monday mailbag? Is that what he calls it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of his Monday mailbags, I remember I read it was No, I read one of his Mets Monday mailbags, and I think it was after the Utah State win. Some guy tweeted at him like, "Hey, this is a big win. We're gonna go 7-5 and make a bowl game." And then Matt responded back like, "Well, let's calm down. This is a big win, but
But now it's possible."
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that's interesting. So I want to call back to that guy. So shout out to that fan, and also shout out to Matt for trying to bring him down to reality. But I'm sure that guy's on cloud nine.
Yeah, dude, that dude is all of his parlays right now. It must be insane.
Actually looking like I find a Twitter handle. You guys keep going. But.
All right. Well, parlays hit for people this weekend.
This game was insane. I remember at work and I was just watching it. Everybody else, I was freaking out just because we haven't had a hot start like that we've had in such a long time. Yeah. And so it was just amazing to see.
And then it was amazing too that we had the hot start and we finished the game.
Right.
Because that was a narrative earlier on this season where we would have the hot start, but then we would just tank in the second half and come from behind wins by the other teams. And
Right. Yeah. Well, that I mean, Kyrie was just incredible this game. I mean, it's there's no beating around the bush with this guy. I mean, the past couple games, it's like he's playing on another planet. He's just been incredible. Like, I mean, the touchdowns that he's getting, and the runs that he's making. I mean, it feels like every time he goes for a run, every time he's carrying that ball, it's always dangerous. You always feel like, oh man, like he might make a move or he might make a juke that's gonna break, a DB or something, and then he's just gone. And with that speed and that strength that he has, he truly can go far. So I think he's been propelling San Jose State's offense.
Yeah,
much.
I mean, even with this game, like he rushed for a career high of 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean,
that's incredible.
I mean, the man is a unit.
yeah. I think you guys put it perfectly. Like, there's no other better way to say it. Like, he is just dangerous.
yeah, just incredibly dangerous. Yeah. Well, you pointed out the.
I mean, I don't know if you want to leave this in, Nick, but
Go for it.
I found it right here. I found exactly what I was talking about. He said, "Matt, who is this? Elon for you." Is
That's a good name.
Okay.
He said,
Right.
"Can SJSU run the table and finish 7-5? Some winnable games coming up."
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
You could just
yeah.
take like a screenshot from like the
7-5?
tweet and just put it in the video.
Yeah.
The breaks.
Yeah, 7-5. I mean, let's pump the brakes on that.
I
Yeah,
mean-
like the.
But this wasn't even after Utah State. This was after we beat New Mexico, so we were 2-5 at the time. So this dude was looking.
This dude was on it early, and it looks like we might run the table.
I mean, there's a chance he could be a time traveler. Who knows?
With a name like Elon for you, I don't know what this guy's up to.
Exactly.
What he's got up his
the
sleeve.
Tesla time travel machine. He
Yeah.
was trying to tell us. He was trying to hint at us.
Yeah, he knew, man. He knew. Obviously, with this game too, there's a little bit of asterisk for Fresno, I'm sure, just because they lost their starting quarterback midway through the game.
Yeah.
But I think to note though is even when their starting quarterback was in the game, it's not like he was doing amazing things on the field. So I think even if Fresno wanted to try to argue like, hey, we lost our starting quarterback, it's like, well, when he was on the field, it's not like he was lighting it up, So I think that makes it even more impressive, the fact that even when they had, their guy in, I mean, he wasn't doing much damage. He didn't look dangerous.
I just want to build off that and talk about a great performance from Matthew Tago, and specifically about Fresno State's quarterback. I was talking to Matthew Tago about like some of the plays he was running or like what he recognized, and basically he was talking about how that one play. I don't know if you guys remember that one play. He before he got his interception, the quarterback threw the ball, he deflected it, and then the next play after he just got the pick. And he was talking about how like that was like straight off film. Like they saw Fresno State run that play like 15 times. So on those plays, like they were just dialed
They were
in,
just
ready.
ready.
For it. So I feel like there's a lot of preparation that went into this, and our defense was just very ready, very on it, which really helped, and it showed too.
I think the bye week helped with that too. Being able to practice that after watching the film, going out there and like repping it, probably like who knows hundreds of times soon. But just like you see, like that's where the ball's going. I'm gonna get that pick.
Yeah,
and that's what it sounded like happened.
Yeah,
just all around well prepared game. I feel like you could tell they're well prepared, and I think that probably goes into why they seemed so confident before the game. I'm sure they just in the back of their minds they knew like, hey, Brennan's prepared us for this game. Like, we're ready to go, We're ready to come out guns a-blazing. And I think, honestly, Fresno wasn't ready. Fresno just didn't look prepared. Like, they looked
I'm pretty
all
sure.
over the
I'm pretty sure a school like Fresno and like facing a school like us, they didn't exactly like you said, like didn't
Mhm.
prepare, or they thought it was gonna be a cakewalk.
I'm sure.
Like, because
yeah.
they were like number 25, and then they more than likely dropped out of that.
Yeah.
But they probably just thought like they were just gonna walk all over us, but then we walked on them. So
Yeah, we walked the dog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Put the dog in his kennel.
Kind of going into that little rivalry thing. I know, like you said, there was a good feel with the team. But how was the crowd there? I know that I was there before the game. A lot of Fresno fans. Like, how was that crowd energy like?
Yeah, it's funny. I was actually just about to mention that, funnily enough, about the crowd and the everything, because the crowd noise was probably the best I've felt, at least at a home game. I know, obviously, the OSU game, there's a lot of people there. But let's be honest, there's a lot of OSU fans, so, it was a lot of them. And unfortunately, at this game, I will say there was a lot of Fresno fans, but the student section was alive. It was alive, There's a certain chance that I won't repeat here that they were saying, but you know what? Hey, I appreciated it. You could really feel like the fans recognize, like, hey, this is a rivalry game. Like, we got to step up. We got to show up, And even if there wasn't a ton of fans there, the fans that were there were making noise, And I think one of the coolest moments, though, was the fans actually started doing the wave in the middle of the game, which, was just awesome to see. It was just fun, even if we're rivals with each other, it's just cool to see fans getting into the game and doing the wave. And it went all the way around the stadium. I was looking up, and I looked over at the athletic center, and even the people up there were like joining in and doing it too. So it was a really cool moment. It was definitely,
obviously, like you're saying, it's a whole new. It feels like. Does it feel like a whole new culture there?
Yeah. It does feel like it's it's weird. It's like a new season that started midway through the season for San Jose State, which is, it's a weird thing to say, but it feels like it at least. It feels like the 2-5 part of the season is over. Like, we've done that part. Now we're on to this part of the season where things are completely different. The crowd's into it. The players are into it. Brennan's into it. I mean, I saw Brennan smiling and enjoying his time on the sidelines. Obviously, he's serious. He's locked in, but at the same time, when a great play was happening, he was clapping, he's dapping up the players, tapping them on the helmets. So it's an incredible atmosphere in there right now. So you know what, if you're a San Jose State person, come out to a game. They need the support, so come out to some games.
San Diego State next week.
San Diego State next week, and this is the last home game.
Yeah, that one's going to be interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah, that will be an interesting game. I want to keep an eye on that because I want to see, because sometimes you'll see a team that after like such an emotional like roller coaster game, not roller coaster, but just an emotional, just kind of like high elevation game. They'll maybe come out the next game a little flat. So I'll be really curious to see if they do that. I hope not, obviously, but I think they'll come out strong. I got a good feeling for that game.
Yeah, that's one thing I was kind of hoping, like curious about too, is to see like, will they, have a little hangover from last week,
Yeah.
But honestly, I think we should on paper beat San Diego State. They've kind of struggled in the Mountain West this year. They're kind of in the bottom tier of the conference. So hopefully we can continue our win streak.
I mean, San Diego State currently sitting at a 3-7. Overall, and then a 1-5 in Mountain West. While we've had like the current like hot streak that we've been on. Right. So like Christian said, on paper we should win.
We can't get too confident though.
Yeah, never know a trap game. You never know.
It's true, and that's kind of what Fresno probably did to us.
Yeah, that exactly. Like I think you have a good point there.
It's also the Charlie Rogers revenge game. That doesn't matter for anyone listening, but
yeah, it does.
Hey,
I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Spider Y2 banana to Charlie Rogers. Full back flat right there.
I called his touchdown last week, but it's this week now. That's what I meant to say before.
They were like, actually, let's save it for San Diego because he's playing his old team.
He was on that red zone snap. He was in for that snap. I saw him in there. I took a couple photos of him when he was in on that snap, and I was like, oh, might get the ball here. You never know. Yeah.
All right, and then after that, we got Vegas after that too. The last game of the season in 2 weeks.
Put all the chips on the table. Huh?
Elon for you might have been spitting, bro. 7-5. It's there.
What did you say?
I said Elon for you might have been spitting.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean,
yeah, he might have been right, which is insane.
One more game to a bowl game, or
we just need one more win, and we're guaranteed a bowl. So.
Which I would like to. Hopefully, I would like to see him just do it next game. Just get it over with.
Exactly.
Just get that win, lock it in. Don't leave it to the last game and make it a pressure situation. Just secure that win, call it a day.
I agree.
And then obviously, like talking about other sports, coming to an end. Last week of our volleyball too. I mean, it's been an interesting season for them to say the least.
Yeah,
Christian, you've been the one who's been reporting, watching them a lot lately. So what did you have to say?
I mean, the only thing, it's 5 straight losses. But I've been talking to head coach Todd Kress, and his goal for the end of the season is build momentum going into the 2025 season because this season's over for them. They know that. They're aware of that. So it's just kind of looking towards the future. And due to injuries, like a lot of the younger freshmen, sophomores, have gotten more playing time. So it's just getting those freshman reps is what he said is important at this part of the season to get them ready for next season. And so they kind of have some preparedness and know what they're going to see next year on the court. But yeah, not much else to report on. 5 straight losses. The injury bug has been even harder, but they're getting those guys back. Blair Fleming returned a couple games ago. Gianna Lawson was out, but she only missed 1 full game, so she's back. We're still missing Letizia Camalucci, but probably this home stretch, we can finish with 1 or 2 wins. And, like Todd Kress said, throw that momentum in the next season.
Yeah, but, we got this week, we got UNLV at the time of this recording tomorrow, so Tuesday. And then on Thursday, tomorrow, when this goes live, San Diego State. So I mean, San Diego State twice this week here on campus.
Aztecs versus Spartans.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed this, but I feel like with the volleyball team, I feel like they've just been really sloppy this season. I don't know. I don't know if you want to comment on that, but
it's been a lot of errors. I remember early on in the season when I was covering it as well. It was a lot of errers. Like a lot of like miscues, a lot of the team just like whether it be running into each other or like missing a spike or like missing a call or anything like that. I feel like that's what it's been.
And the big thing with those errors too is in the past 2 games they got swept. So it's like they get themselves in a hole that they can't dig themselves out of.
Can't get out.
So that's kind of like what's happening with the team. And I mean, injuries, young players, that stuff kind of happens. So.
Yeah. Well, and obviously, this is the head coach's first season. Right?
Todd Chris's first season.
So I feel for him a little bit. I'm sure this is such a tough situation to where, you come in your first season with a brand new team and then everybody's getting hurt. Your first season, then you're just learning the team. So I can only imagine what he's going through from a head coaching perspective. So I do feel for him. Feel bad, but that's the luck of the draw. It happens,
but then of course, he was supposed to live up to like the season that they had last year.
Right.
Into conference championship tournament. So there was a lot on his plate.
Yeah.
So but of course, like we mentioned, it's just momentum going into next season now.
Yeah. I feel like honestly, there's a lot of parallels between the volleyball team and the women's soccer team. They both had they had great seasons last year where they were just doing incredible things, dominating, and then this year's just been the exact opposite. Obviously, and then in women's soccer, I think had similar injury issues too. So it's kind of been an unfortunate season.
So definitely something interesting to say the least. Yeah, but then obviously, we currently have still at the start of their season, arguably, basketball, both sides, men's and women's. So, I feel like the 3 of you guys have been watching it the most. So what do you guys got to talk about?
I feel like start with the men's. I'm incredibly impressed with the men's so far. They've been, you're losing guys like Sage Tolbert and Amari Moore. You expect the next season, hey, look, we're probably not going to be as good as we were last year. We're losing 2 incredible pieces to our team, but yet they've actually been incredible to start this season. They're playing with this pace that I feel like I don't remember seeing. Like last year they had it, but they play this game so fast. They're such a fast team, and I love it. I love the way they play with such pace, and they bring the ball to the other team. Like they really don't, they have that confidence where they'll just bring it right to them. They'll bring it to the hoop. They'll, shoot corner threes. They don't mind chucking up the ball. Yeah, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are, but yeah, I feel like I'm really liking the way they're playing.
One of the biggest takeaways from this weekend was we were competing with Texas Tech, a Power 5 basketball program, solid basketball program at that.
Yeah.
And you could always give credit to Tim Miles too. What is this, 3rd season, I believe?
Yeah,
I think it's his second or third, but I think it's his third. But anyways, to compete and have the lead at halftime against Texas Tech, obviously that game got away from us, but still, and then I think it's a solid start to the season, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. Like you kind of mentioned, losing Amari Moore and stuff like that. The offense has stepped up, and guys have filled in. I don't know if you want to take that.
Yeah, that game against Texas Tech, we only lost 56-42. So that's only not even a 10-point difference.
Yeah.
Oh no, a little bit more than 10. I got terrible math, but yeah, my fault.
No. I've liked what I've seen so far too, but I was a little worried when I was at the Bethesda game and they were in there by 6 points, and I was like, they're not even a D3 school. So
that's fair.
But we ended up bringing it back and whooping them by 40, which is what we should have been doing the whole game.
Right.
But I'm really impressed. I've specifically been impressed with what I saw from Tibet Goner the first 2 games. Obviously, he did not have a good game against Texas Tech at all. I'm looking at the stats, he had an uncharacteristically bad game from what I've seen. How good his jump shot looks for him to go over 7 and score no points.
Wow.
Jeez. Him and Trey Anderson really, this is what Tim Miles has been talking about a lot. He's been talking about how they're not going to replace Amari Moore individually. They're going to replace him with the whole group as a whole. They're going to score by committee essentially. So it just depends on who gets hot, who gets the ball for what game. And that looked like it was going to be Trey Anderson and Tibet, and also Myron Amy as well. But yeah, Tibet's been good in the first 2 games, but I feel like he's getting a lot of SJSU's success is going to rely on him shooting the ball well, and obviously he didn't, and we weren't able to close out the game. And another thing is we still don't have, I don't know how to say his name, so I'm sorry, like Robert Villahola. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, Viola.
Yeah, he's still hurt too, and we've had a Diongu come in and try and take his minutes, but I feel like, once we get him back, this team could be even better as well too.
Yeah, Viola, I like Viola's game, so I'm looking forward to having him back in the lineup. He's somebody who, he fights for rebounds, he crashes the paint. He doesn't mind, using his body to kind of establish his presence in the paint. So I think having a guy like him, having another big body on this team is nice, because this is a bigger team. Like, they got some kind of bigger guys on their team, and I like them using their bodies, more, just trying to establish themselves in the paint. I think that can be really important, because that three ball is not always dropping. You can shoot the three, and like you were just talking about, Gorner, that's a guy who's been shooting lights out, the first couple games, and then all of a sudden he runs into a brick wall like this, where he has a game where he's just not making a basket. So you got to have those guys that can work in the paint, that, if the three ball is just not hitting, if it's just not dropping. So
yeah, and then someone that I can also do that is the freshman point guard, Latrell Davis. I really liked what I've seen from him early on. Like, he crashes the boards, he's physical. He's 6'2", but he's like out rebounding like teams' power forwards. It's great. I really like how he plays, honestly. He crashes physical, gets to the foul line a lot. Like him. I think he's a bright spot watch for the future as well. See how he does.
Yeah, and then, coming up this weekend, we're playing at the 23rd U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam.
Sounds sick.
I'll be out there in the Virgin Islands taking pictures. No, I was kidding.
Yeah, so
I wish.
I for a second, I was jealous.
I wish, man.
Like, let me get in your suitcase.
Yeah. It's a Spear budget, they're paying for a private little flight out.
Imagine.
Private jet.
Yeah. Spear jet.
Whoa.
Spear jet.
Oh yeah, but then how about we flip it over to the women's side now?
Women's side, yeah.
Yeah. So how are they doing? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys have been hopefully watching both, huh?
I mean,
yeah.
You can go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's about what I've expected so far, for the women's team. I feel like, the similar people are going to have to step up. And obviously, Sabrina is going to be the big one. She's been the highlight of this team for a little bit now, where she's a great shooter. She drives that, team's offense. But because what score are we off to right now? What's our record?
2-1.
2-1. I mean, actually, 2-1 is better than I would have expected. Though, to be fair, we haven't played anybody too particularly crazy. And honestly, Santa Clara's not a bad basketball program. So for that's another similar thing where they kept it close. 47-55 loss. I mean, it's not bad. So I feel like actually for the women's basketball team, better start than maybe I guess I would have expected. But so respect to them for starting off 2-1.
I think a big thing for them is just to limit the turnovers, because
that's true. Yeah.
I unfortunately did not get to catch the Santa Clara game live, but I saw April Phillips's post-game press conference, just on the website, and she said, it's hard to win a game when you turn the ball over 26 times. And she said it very casually. I was like, oh my god, you turned over 26 times. Even in the Bellarmine game that happened on November 9th, we kind of got off to a rocky start. We returned the ball over a bit, but we were able to, stop that and just play better basketball, and I like that.
It could be some early season woes type
Exactly.
thing, and just kind of airing out, those errors. But
and we're winning 2 in a row. We got Montana State next tomorrow at the time of this recording.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see who are their main scorers so far this season. 'Cause I feel like Sabrina obviously has been scoring,
Marissa
but
Davis-Jones. I mean, she looked pretty good in the paint.
Marissa, I was about to say Marissa is somebody who can kind of fly under the radar, but I feel like she usually puts up good games. Let's see. Yeah, Marissa. Yeah, that makes sense.
Points. Jai Lovett.
Lovett. Yeah, she's been good so far. Yeah, she went 6 for 6 for a free throw. Yeah. And then 2 for 2 field goals. Yeah.
Marissa's like Latrell. She gets to the free throw line a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, drawing those fouls. I mean, it's an important part of any team game, basketball wise. So.
Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty much it that we all got for today for SpearCast.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
I found Elon For You's Twitter account.
Oh my god.
And this is important. Trust me.
I want to hear it.
And he's reminding Matt, who called the streak. Look at this. He says, Mr. Weiner spelled his name wrong. Remember who called the streak first. I'm scared for San Diego State game, so hopefully the team keeps working. He's letting Matt know who called it.
Elon for you.
Elon for you.
The truth is
we
just,
love
like,
you.
We love you. I'm a fan of yours now. I'm gonna follow you on Twitter after we're done recording this.
I'm not gonna lie. I was, Matt's in another room right now, so I don't know if you hear this, but I ain't gonna lie. Matt was getting flamed in the comments for a lot. For his like on his Twitter. It's like there's a bunch of comments that were like,
no, we love
like,
Matt.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course. Yeah. Matt's Matt's a legend. But yeah, there's just a couple funny comments that were like, well, it looks like you were wrong, or whatever. This didn't age well, or whatever. It's like, all right, man. I was like, all right, chill out, man. Look, can you blame the guy for thinking? I didn't think we were gonna, do good.
No
one did.
We
gonna be
read
good.
the records of our team versus their team.
I thought we'd do a little better. I didn't think we'd be 5-5. I didn't think we'd just win 4 straight.
Yeah, I mean, winning 4 straight, and I mean, it's none of them are like obviously though, like beating Hawaii, we should beat Hawaii, but. We're beating the teams that we should beat, and we're beating them in a dominant fashion, which is what I like to see. I don't like it when, we're beating teams that we should beat, but we're only beating them by one possession or a field goal. I think you want to get those convincing wins. I think it just builds confidence, so it's been nice to see.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure now that's all we had.
Yeah, thanks for providing the extra content for us, Elon, for you.
No problem.
All right. Well, thank you again for Titus for joining us on. Thank you again for Aaron coming back,
thank you.
even through sickness.
Oh yeah.
I've been your
man, I swear to God.
All right. Well, I've been your host, Nick.
I'm Christian.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
On the side, don't let me hop on the outro either.
That's so messed up. Yeah, like, come on.